Good morning, I'm Marianne Binetti, and it is an early summer morning, and I am cutting lilies today. And this is my flower cutting basket. I've had this for so long. I used to have a longer pole, but that broke off. But it's so handy because I just fill it with containers of water. Because whenever you cut flowers, cutting in the morning is best, and then also immediately placing the cut flowers into cold water. So I'm going to cut these lilies. And these are the Asiatic lilies. They bloom first. But the tip I want to tell you is not to cut long stems from your lilies. That is because all these greens on this stem, the very bottom on up, is making next year's flowers. And if I were to cut this down, give it a 1 foot cut stem, it would look great as a cut flower, but my bulb wouldn't have enough energy to make a great supply of flowers next summer. So instead I'm going to cut very, very short. So I only have this much. I'm going to remove the lower leaves and immediately place this into my jar of water. Now these are the anthers, these brown anthers here, and these will drop pollen onto your tablecloth, your table, and stain things. So when I'm out in the garden, I like to just cut these off, and then the anthers could kind of fall onto the soil instead of falling onto your tablecloth. And then as these buds open up, I'll just go in there with my little needle nose pliers and cut the anthers off as they're indoors. So now the problem is, when you have these cut lilies, you still are left with these nice tall stems. So let me cut this other one. And now the flowers are gone on these lilies, but I still have these green stems. But let me tell you what I've been experimenting with. Is I've been planting sweet peas at the base of my lilies. So come on over here and you can see in this close-up view how there is a sweet pea vine and it's climbing up the stem of the lilies so that when the lily blooms are done flowering, it'll look like a support for the sweet peas that are now going to be giving the flower. So that's a tip for what to do with these tall stems. Now I want you to come on over to my patio because I'm going to show you something else I do with my sweet peas. Well, so here I am on my patio garden, and I've got a big collection of colorful flowers in pots. And I try to keep with orange and terracotta pots with my mostly orange and yellows and warm colors. And my beautiful clematis is in glorious bloom right now at the beginning of July. And my sweet peas are doing great, but they're doing a little too great. So I fertilized my sweet peas with Osmocote. I just mixed this slow-release Osmocote fertilizer into the soil at the planting time, and that's all the fertilizer they've had, and they're loving it. But I want to keep them lower, keep them on the support, and keep them so they're not rambling too much. So I'm going to do some what I call drastic by 1/2 pruning. So what that means is I'm going to shorten this entire sweet pea pot by 1/2 and remove all these flowers. And yes, it's very hard to do because you think you're cutting off all the blooms and you're never going to get any more. But the reality is, by removing all these, and now let me show you this, I simply go through here. I'm going to put them in this vase. So I'm going to remove the lower leaves. If I remove the lower leaves that are underwater, the sweet peas are going to last a much longer time. So now that's going to be able to bloom for me. And then here, these stems, clip these off. This has no flowers. I clip this all the way back. Where I clip back, this joint or node, this is where we're going to have a new sprout and have more sweet pea flowers coming. So by clipping all this and shortening all these, by about 1/2, I have a whole vase full of sweet pea flowers. I just can't really cut these yet because they're buds. I'm going to just tuck them in here, and I'll come next week and cut those. And then every place where I cut, I'll have new sprouts and new flowers, so I'll have a much bushier display of sweet peas. And if they keep growing this tall, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the whole pot, I'm going to move it way back to this corner. I'm going to let the sweet peas climb up this arbor where the clematis were. And I'll probably have to cut the clematis back and let the sweet peas take over. This is Marianne Binetti, Easy Answers for Great Gardens.
If you enjoyed these gardening tips, subscribe to our channel so you can get updates on new videos and stay in the know about all things gardening. Click the red subscribe button below. See the description below for more information about how to connect with us on PlantersPlace.com, Facebook, and Instagram.